The Rambler Network.
Welcome to the Pacific Coast, where the vast and serene holds more secrets than you could ever imagine. From ghost ships adrift in the fog to unsolved disappearances, we explore the mysteries that lurk along the shore. Join us as we unravel the enigmas that are oddly Pacific. San Francisco Bay, a stretch of water both beautiful and merciless. Imagine a cold wind sweeping across the water, the foghorn's low moan carried through the night. In the center sits a rock, jagged and unyielding, crowned with concrete walls and guard towers. For decades it was called inescapable, the end of the line, the place criminals disappeared into. But in the summer of 1962, 3 men decided otherwise, and to this day, no one knows for sure if they lived to tell the tale. This is the escape from Alcatraz. Frank Morris was no stranger to prison. Brilliant, with an IQ said to be in the top 2%, but equally notorious for his string of burglaries and escapes from earlier facilities. He was a thinker. Then there were the Anglin brothers, John and Clarence. Raised in Georgia and Florida, they became skilled bank robbers, slipping from town to town. But what made them unique was their toughness. They had once swam across icy lakes as children, practicing for fun. That detail would matter more than anyone could have imagined. And finally, Alan West, another bank robber who would play a pivotal role in the escape plan, though his story ended differently. 4 men, united by desperation, intelligence, and the belief that Alcatraz was not the dead end it claimed to be. The cells of Alcatraz were supposed to be unbreakable. Thick concrete, cold steel, guard checks throughout the night. Yet within these walls, an escape route was slowly being carved in secret. Each prisoner had a small vent near the back of their cell, with cruel tools such as stolen spoons, pieces of sharpened wood, even a vacuum cleaner motor turned into a drill. They began chipping away at the crumbling concrete. Night after night, covered by the sound of music or prison noise, they widened the vents until the men could squeeze through. Behind the cells was a hidden utility corridor. It was a forgotten space, a kind of liminal void running behind the cell block. It became their workshop, their sanctuary. Here, they built what would take them across the bay, a raft. Made of over 50 stolen raincoats, stitched and glued together with prison workshop materials, life vests, paddles, everything fashion and secret. Even the dummies, papier-mâché heads with real hair taken from the barbershop, placed in their bunks to fool the guards. It was ingenious and impossible, and yet they managed to get it done. On the night of June 11th, 1962, Morris and the Anglin brothers slipped through the holes in their cells. They crawled into the dark corridor, carried their raft up to the roof, and descended to the shoreline. Alan West, the fourth, wasn't so lucky. His vent had stuck, hardened with cement dust. He tried frantically to break through, but couldn't free himself in time. When morning came, he was still in his cell. The others were gone. By the time guards discovered the empty cells, the men had vanished into the water. The alarm was raised, boats were dispatched, and helicopters were hovered over the bay, but no bodies were ever recovered. Officially, they drowned. The currents were too strong, the water too cold. Authorities concluded the bay had claimed them, their bodies swept out to sea. But there were anomalies. A paddle found near Angel Island, a waterproof wallet containing family photos, reports of a raft spotted drifting, sightings of men resembling the Anglins in later years, in South America, the Deep South, even letters mailed to the FBI decades later. To this day, nothing has been proven, and nothing has been disproven. Did they die in the water that night, dragged under by exhaustion? Or did they make it to the mainland, disappear into the fog, and begin new lives? The Anglin family claimed to have received postcards and phone calls. Relatives swore the brothers showed up in photographs years later. Investigators remain divided. But one thing is clear. No one has ever found their remains, and the escape has become a legend. Standing on the shores of San Francisco Bay today, you can look out at the island, still looming, still cold. The tide crashes against the rocks as if mocking the idea of freedom. But somewhere, maybe in the dead of night, 3 men slipped away. Frank Morris, John Anglin, Clarence Anglin. Whether they drowned or lived free, their story endures. And personally, I think they made it. Because sometimes, the impossible isn't as impossible as we're told. Sometimes it's oddly Pacific. If you have any theories or thoughts on this or any other story I cover, I'd love to hear from you. Reach out on social media at Rambler Network on Instagram and X, or visit ramblernetwork.com. Intro and outro music is Oceanus by Flat Sound Works from pixabay.com.
The Rambler Network.